do you want to get out of debt and try to stay out of debt? Well, I've got a couple of ways for you to do that. It's a little bit of a story time as well, but it helps tie into what you can do. My first problem was I married the wrong person the first go around, and I basically was the spouse, which we had. That was another big problem. We had joint checking and savings accounts. Don't ever do that. I don't care what anybody says. Like, me and my husband now, we have separate accounts. And it's not because I don't trust him. That's just how it is. And I told him from the beginning that we would always have separate accounts. But my first go around, that was the problem. We had joint accounts. Now, we would always, and I was always the person that wrote out all the bills. So, like, I would get a statement, I would know how much money we had in the bank, and I would pay all of our bills for the month. That was my job. And so he never really looked at that stuff or worried about that stuff because I took care of it. And it got to the point where he was being extremely abusive. You know how it is. It kind of starts off once in a long while, then it gets more frequent, and then it got to the point where I didn't even want to leave my job because I knew when I went home he would pick a fight with me. And there was always just physical and mental abuse, and it was just always drama in the home, and I was sick of it. So I wanted out, and I knew that it was going to be very difficult to get out. So I had started another savings account in my name and had started squirreling away money. Now, neither one of us made a whole lot at our job, so the little bit of extra money here or there that I had, I put it in this savings account because I wanted to save up enough money to be able to leave. And for some reason, one day, he decided to open up all the mail that came in. And he happened to see that there was a statement, a savings account statement. But what he didn't notice was that it was just in my name, right? That would have been so bad if he noticed that it was just in my name. But he didn't notice. And he was like, I didn't realize that we had this much in our savings account, which it really wasn't a whole lot that I had squirreled away. It was $3,000, a little over $3,000. I knew that wasn't enough, but so he made me take that money, and he wanted to spend it on certain things, and so the money was gone, and I was devastated that this money was gone, but there was nothing that I could say or do about it. So it finally got to the point to where because he would always fight with me, argue with me, and the physical abuse really didn't happen around our daughter, but it did one time. She witnessed him physically abusing me. So I thought, I've got to get out of here. I can't do this. So I had told him if he ever hit me again that I was calling the cops. So one night he did that. He he beat me really bad, and he took my phone and he threw it in the toilet. And so I had to get a hold of my friend on Facebook. She called the cops. The cops came over and took pictures of my injuries, and they were looking for him. He actually turned himself in, from what I understand, that same day, and then he got bailed out. In the morning, he automatically went to our bank and took out all of the money, savings and checking account, besides $50. So, and I had to work so much overtime in order to be able to keep our house and make it as less traumatic as I could for our daughter. It was already bad that we were split up because she was daddy's girl, but I wanted it to be less traumatic. I wanted us to stay in that house. I wanted us to stay in that school district, so I worked my tail off and overtime to be able to make sure to do that. And working a lot of overtime was what I had to do, and I was really lucky because I had a neighbor across the street, and her daughter and my daughter were best friends, so she would babysit my daughter for like $20 a day or $25 a day. I mean, it was ridiculously cheap, and I lucked out because they were best friends. But anyways, I worked really hard and saved up enough money to where we could stay there. And at the time too, my car blew up, so I had no car. I went to a buy here, pay here car lot because I couldn't afford to go to a regular car lot and try to purchase a car. And that car blew up, so it had to go back. So I was walking to work and walking home. I was walking to the grocery store and walking home. And like, nobody really knew that. My daughter did, but like, nobody at work knew what I was going through or whatever. So imagine that, especially like it's dark and you gotta walk to work as a female, and you gotta walk home, and you gotta walk to the grocery store, and you gotta be really cognizant of what you buy that's going to make a couple of meals or make one cheap meal for the both of you, which is, you know, easy to do if you think about it. You know, you buy like those packets of noodles and you just jazz it up with like whatever's on sale, whether that's ground beef, chicken, whatever it is, tuna, just stuff like that. And so that's what I would say the two things are. Don't ever share a checking account with someone, ever. And the second one is you have to be really creative with what you buy at the grocery store. Your coupons that you're couponing, I would go online and there would be online coupons, and I would download those onto the little key thing that they give you when they scan all your groceries, and then they scan that, and then more money comes off. But like, you got to be creative about what's on sale at the grocery store and doing that. Also, we don't do any of these. I'm so sad, and this is so difficult and hard on me that I'm going to treat myself. You're not going to treat yourself. You're not going to get those shoes. You're not going to get that new outfit. You're not going to do none of this at all. You are going to not spend money on anything. I don't care. No Starbucks. You're not doing it. Nothing. I don't care. No nails, no lashes. We're not doing none of this stuff. It's just strictly what you have to do to get by. So that is what I would say, and that's about it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.